Open my stream. Hello, hello, hello. All right, everybody. This is a special one. I'm only going to be probably playing the tutorial. I'm only going to probably be playing the tutorial of this one because it's long, and then I will return to it sometime over the course of the next week to play the actual game. But I want to get the tutorial section out of the way so that I can actually play it. But this is a special one because this game is ridiculously good. And I want to put some time into this one. So it's on sale for the spring sale on Steam. It's like $3.75, which is a unbelievable steal for what this game is. So if you don't own this, you should definitely be picking this up during the spring sale that's happening right now. So let's jump in and then I will kind of explain what is happening. Save is compatible with this version. It cannot be loaded. Oh, incompatible. Okay, yeah, we can kill this. Delete. We'll just start fresh. The last report aired 6 years ago. 99.5% of us were gone. Wantlessness is a state of perfect fulfillment after all. Probably. They're a quiet bunch, the Wantless. Most believe it's better than just living your life. I desperately hope it's better than just dying. I'll explain this in a second. Okay. And you're in. Boy is boy being the person that we're inside. Boy is fast asleep up here. Does he look more cheerful on the inside? Nope, not exactly beaming either. Then again, he wouldn't ask to become wantless if he was. Fair point. It's been a while. Are you feeling okay? I think so, but I could use your help remembering. Drag your cursor through the screen's edges to use the arrow keys to move the camera around. I think I can move WSD. Yeah, WSD works. Okay, use lift mouse bell to select the target position, and then you can move. Okay, and then exit the room. The wretch. Thoughts long abandoned, forgotten, not out of shame or growth, merely the lack of relevance. High melee damage, mobile. Close. Your turn. Forsaken thoughts, aggressive. Still see them as giant insects? Human face giant insects. You need therapy. Your skills display here, hover them to get more information. Your action points to move and cast your skills in combat. And then it's going to guide us through combat here. So just to go over what this game is and why this game is so special. This is a tactical turn-based RPG, and it's structured in the sense that we are going in to destroy bad emotions and bad thoughts within people so that they do not feel those emotions any longer. Thus, they're kind of dead inside. But they want to feel that way, so they stop feeling things. So these are actually the bad thoughts within the person who has submitted themselves to be wantless. And we are the agent that goes inside their mind to rid them of these thoughts. They just manifest as our character perceives those thoughts. So, as they just said, we perceive them as insects with human faces, but there's going to be a myriad of these different creatures. But what makes this game so special is a couple different things. Number one, how the combat system actually functions, which you're going to see as we go through this tutorial. but I'll just explain so you can kind of grasp it as we go. We have 8 action points. For everything we do, we give the enemy actions. So if I use 1 action point, every single one of these enemies gets 1 action point. If I use all 8 of my action points, every single one of these enemies gets 8 action points. So everything you do as a maneuver or a tactic or skill or literally anything, you are putting yourself at a significant handicap. So if obviously there's 1 of me and there is 3 of them. So if I use all 8 of my things, I am giving them 24 action points to my 8. So the game comes down to a bunch of just really thoughtful strategic movements. So how many points do I spend on moving? Do I even move? Do I take a turn where I actually do damage knowing that I'm probably going to take damage in return? And then the next part that's really unique about this game, besides just the incredible thought-provoking nature of like how do you move around, when do you spend your action points and get value out of those action points to make sure that you don't die in return for doing the things you're doing, is the skill system allows for you to have complete customization over your skills. So when we get to it, skills in this game are entirely customized however you want them to be. So you can make any type of character you want. You can make a stealthy ranged sniper character. You can make a tanky melee character. You can make a like a summoner or necromancer. You can make literally anything. The skill system, the way it works is you will get a base skill, which has a value of how many action points it's going to cost. You will get spaces within that skill for that value that is going to give you things that you can do. The things in the skill have hierarchy. So like if you need, like if one of the things is debuffing an enemy with weakness, and then the next thing under that in the same skill is to do damage, the weakness will happen and then the damage will happen thereafter. So that you want to structure that to make sure that your skills actually have a hierarchy in how they present their damage in the right order. And then again, how you spend those actions will determine, high risk, high reward. Am I doing a high risk action that's going to cost me 6 action points? Well, I better kill a bunch of things for those 6 action points, because I'm about to give everything on the map 6 action points. So as we go through, kind of pay attention to that. Now, the other thing is these enemies are no joke. This is not an easy game. If you look at the reviews for this game, you will understand that everybody says the same thing. This is a very difficult game in the sense that a simple mess up is you are going to pay for it. So if like you do a misstep or a miscalculation, or you give the enemy too many turns on a single turn, you will pay dearly for it. So like for instance, you would think this level 1 45 HP wretch would only do like maybe 5 damage because it's the tutorial. No, these things hit for like 100 damage and we only have 500 health. So if I take 4 or 5 hits from these guys, we're dead, we lose. And you're going to see that as we play this out. So as we go, just pay attention to kind of how things operate, how things work. But this game, for $3.50, I think, or something like that on Steam, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played for value, bar none. It does have a free demo. So again, if you want to kind of explore this game before giving $3.50, which is, again, just absurd. Seriously, that the value is immense here. But if you wanted to try the demo for free first to make sure it's up your alley, obviously do that. It's free, it's available. That's what I did, and I fell in love with the demo. But the tutorial is kind of long, so that's what we're playing through today. So it says skills have a limited range. Your punch has range of 1. So you'll have to move into range to cast it. Move to the designated square. Now you'll see when we move here, there is a predetermined path. We cannot control this. It will just take the most direct path that you can take. So you have to kind of play around that as well. And you'll see it says 4. And then if I go back here, 3, 2, 1, that's because it's going to take 4 of our action points to move here. And when I do that, all of these enemies are going to get 4 actions. So you'll see here. Now they all 3 of them got 4 action points. This is what do you call it? A mine. So it has an explosive range. So we'll get around to that in a second. And now you'll see it's telling me to use my punch attack, which does 30 to 40 pain damage to the enemy directly in front of me. You'll see that the skill shape gives you an idea of how the skill will work. And again, that's also going to cause 2 action points. So we'll go ahead and we'll punch this enemy. You'll notice we did not kill the enemy, but we do have 2 action points again, so we can punch it again. So if I go here. Okay, so we killed that enemy. And you'll see it says space to end turn and use your turn. So we'll end turn. But now the enemy, both of these enemies have 8 points. It's his mind's turn now, and you gave the boy a lot to work with. Brace. So the more you act, the harder the mind retaliates. As you spent 8 action points, your enemies also get to spend 8 action points each. It's not connected, so they both get the 8 action points. You see he comes over, and watch how hard he hits me. 157 damage. Again, tutorial mob. Okay? So now this enemy is going to spend his turn to leap. He used all his action points to leap all the way over to me. But another cool thing about this game is the game understands your position in regards to where the enemy is. So we can actually take a step back and block his use of those 8 points, and he can no longer move over to us. So we'll go here, and you'll see that we just blocked his leap, so he can no longer come to us. And we only gave this enemy 1 action point, which means he can only move up a square, and he doesn't get an attack because he doesn't have the action points to attack, but he probably will move up to this square. So end your turn early and to make your enemies only get 1 AP. So we'll end our turn. And see his leap failed, so he can no longer jump to us. Now this enemy doesn't have any action points to spend, so now is a good time to strike back and clear these pesky manifestations. Use punch on the wretch twice. So again, same as we did before. Punch. A punch. And then destroying an enemy restores 1 action point. Use this to press the advantage. So close. So now what it wants me to do is I can come over here for 3 action points. You'll see that he has the 4 that I just spent. But we'll go here. Now he has 7, but I have 2. And now I can use this telekinesis push ability. And what that's going to do is this is going to send this bomb to him. So we're going to go here. You see it's going to hit him. You can actually see where the explosion radius is going to be. And then that kills him because of the explosion. Room complete. And then we get kind of like a roguelite. We get a modifier. So it says choose your neural pulse. Increase your hit damage and affliction damage by 20% for 5 turns. And then the room is now clear. And we can close. And then we can move to the next section. You will notice as we go to this new room, the patient ones are often heavily guarded. Neutralize whatever stands in your way. And now it's my turn. We're still in the guided tutorial, so we can't really fail this section, I don't think. So it's just going to keep guiding us through. But you're going to notice room to room, I did not heal. So again, this is a very challenging game. If you struggle in one section and you have to go to the next section before the boss area, you have to account for your health is not going to reset as we go. You'll also see that due to the last room we were in, our hit damage is now increased by 20% for 5 turns, and then our affliction damage is also increased for 5 turns. So we're going to go over here as the game wants us to go, and we're going to preserve. These are memories. You'll see them here. These can be destroyed, but when we collect them, it brings down the, I forget the name for it, but it brings down the threat level of kind of the area. So we'll grab this. It'll explain it. So your turn ends automatically when you run out of action points. Now you see he comes over. When a memory is destroyed, so he destroyed a memory, the patient's instability increases, empowering enemies and randomly altering the combat layout. So you'll see that he destroyed a memory, so now the kid that we're inside of his mind is detecting that we are doing things to his thoughts. And if we get to 3, we fail the run. So we don't want to do that. And then as he also detects us, everything gets harder. So it's just a snowballing effect. It just gets much, much worse. Should instability exceed the maximum, the patient will wake up, causing the operation to fail. Okay. So now you can lower instability by preserving memories, push the forgotten hero away before reaching out for other memories. So it wants us to use our telekinesis, and it wants us to send him through the explosion. So it should, I think, theoretically explode him. Yep. And then we're going to try to get to these 2 memories so that we can preserve them. So it wants us to move. It wants us to dash. So when we dash, we cut the value of the move in half. So you'll see, it lets you reach faraway positions for less AP, but it cannot go through obstacles. So here it will cost 2. And you'll see it says it costs 2. And now we can dash here, and then we can use the extra to move here. And then we can collect this memory. And we lowered our detection level back to 0, which also in turn lowers the threat level of the enemies, so that we've made them easier on us, rather than it being detected and them being stronger. This is also asleep, so it will not wake up for 2 more turns. I think it's gonna have me go push him into the other exploding thing. Okay, so we can end our turn. Now it's saying the dousing impulse's detonation caused your enemy to become dormant. Dormant enemies will not act for the duration of the effect or until damaged. Many such persistent effects exist. Use Alt and left mouse button with your cursor to examine them and their effects in detail. So just if you wanted to hover over it. Okay. And then I think it wants me to... Oh, it probably wants me to actually do that. Oh, it wants me to deep dive it. Okay, so you can actually click on the enemies too, so that's what it was waiting for me to do. Finish the fight as you see fit. The memory near the forgotten ego restores AP. So you can see what his capabilities are. He has something called Burden. It cost him 1. It has a 3-turn cooldown. And I think I can click on it. Leaps over obstacles towards its target, inflicting moderate pain damage and pushing surrounding entities upon landing. So it's like a jump slam ability. He has 250 health, and he has damage resistance to pain, but he takes more from fear, and then grief, and then pure are neutral. So we will close these. So obviously what we can do is we can go here. We can push him and do half of his health. We can also move here and preserve this memory. That gives us some extra AP. But he does have the max AP this turn, so he will have 8 AP. We can use that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are in his radius. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even over here, I think he can get to us, but he'll only have 1, but he can actually use that. I think I'm still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, even if I go here, I think the best course of action is I try to get here and leave him with 1, but even then I think I may take damage here. I could... No. Let's see what happens if we go here. All right, intern. Should come right to us and have 1. Okay, he's stockpiled. Okay, if an enemy has leftover action points, it will use stockpile. Stockpile reserves all remaining AP plus 1 for the enemy's next turn. So he has a plus 1 next turn. And you'll see, you should be able to see that on his character. Yeah, so you see plus 2 in his stockpile. So he actually made it over to me in 6. So now what we can do is we can actually just go ham and punch him. So 1, 2, 3, And he's gone. There are the boys once, ready to lead him into a blissful slumber. All right, we move over here. And then you can see here, happiness, comfort, love, success, admiration, self-accomplishment, peace of mind, slice of pizza resting in the fridge. Here lie all of your patients once ripe for irreversible abscission. Effects invulnerable. We'll grab that. And then patient once abscise, vitals are stable, remaining stress level 0, ready to come back to our beautiful reality. So we'll extract. And it should show us the skill system now. All right, memory data is valuable. Preserved memories will automatically convert to tokens, currency, when the transposition is complete, so you don't have to worry about managing that. You'll also notice that our level, we have a level, so this will increase. That will become valuable because there is kind of a Path of Exile skill tree, passive tree that we will fill out. You'll see that as well. Again, there's a ton of depth to this game. So you'll see here, Faded Memories, we collected 3 of them, converted it to coin. You'll see down here, XP down here. And then here's the thing. So patient reward for the run, we choose 4. Or we're getting these 4, so we'll just hit proceed, but we'll get all of these. And this is going to be the skill system and how it works. So you'll see that it's a aerial skill. So the way the skill works is it's going to cover a space of those 5 markers in the skill shape, and it's probably going to be some sort of leap ability. Then we can add strike damage to that, which will deal 40 to 60 fear damage. You'll see all this in a second. And this is telling you how much it costs and how many cooldowns you have to be able to cast that ability. And then these are going to be your kind of revives for things you're going to need. This game is very difficult. This will come into play, you will see. All right, transfers complete. We did Yuan, and then the reputation for the home base. And then I guess for him, the reputation for him specifically, I'll explain that later. So this is going to be our home base. You did well. He's asleep for now. You're all good. I know transposing gets really intense. I'll get him to a nearby cradle. You go get some rest. Hey, morning. Are you all right? Think so. Happy for the boy. Are we expecting patients today? Word of an ambulant transposing lab spreads like a damn pandemic. Some are already waiting. Before you get back to it, you got some synapses from your patient's mind maze. Let's do some neural forging together. It'll help you deal with that horde of wimps. Day 2. New day dawned, 3 new items, learning points. And this is our discipline in which controls how many skills and how strong our skills can be at any given point in the game. This is important, and I'll go over that in a minute. You've unlocked the Neural Forge. You can now craft and equip new skills. I'm going to say open the Neural Forge and craft your first skill. You can always consult your current objectives here. Okay. And you'll see here, Dumpstead, Dream Disposal. This is our reputation within our base, our money, and then our knowledge shards. Again, all this will make sense shortly. This is, again, a very long tutorial. So we'll go here. There she is, 6 years, huh? Let me try to jog your memory. As a transposer, the Neural Forge is the most important tool. It combines special data components, synapses into custom skills you can use during transposition. I think I'll find my way through the machine interface. Be my guest, though you were pretty bad at it back then. Okay, there are 3 types of synapses, all required to forge new skills. Form synapses determine your skill's range, shape, and the number of effects it can apply. Use the left mouse button on the Area 1 synapse. So you'll see it says Area 1. It brings us up our menu, and we load it into place. Effect synapses determine what your skill does to its target and its target's types, enemies or allies. Open the effects tab. Okay. The strike 1 synapse causes your skills to deal damage to the enemies it hits. So we're going to grab that and we're going to put it in place. Lastly, efficiency synapses determine your skill's action point cost and cooldown. So go here. We have a duo one that we collected. And you'll see here, it puts it all together into a skill. So once at least one synapse of each type is slotted, the resulting skill is previewed on the right-hand side of the screen. From top to bottom, it's customizable name and icon, so the name you want to call it, its AP cost, its cooldown, its effects, its range, and its casting preview. You actually can see a preview of the ability you are creating. Forge the preview skill to proceed. So again, Fear Missile, cost 2, 1 turn cooldown, deals 40 to 60 fear damage, and does it in a 5 square radius about 3 squares in front of me. And this is what I was talking about before. It has a discipline cost. So this is going to cost us discipline along with our other skills. We can only have 1500 discipline. So our skill value cannot exceed this 1500. You'll see that in a few. A forge skill must be equipped before it can be transpositioned. Choose the forge skill. Close the forge skill. Yep. Okay. Skills. We'll open them up. And now you'll see this is our hotbar for our skills. And they display them all here. Your equipped skills are displayed here. And finally, the discipline, which is the cost of your skills, is displayed here. Each equipped skill reserves discipline while it is equipped and frees it in reserve if you unequip it. A skill's discipline cost is determined by its synapses. Stronger synapses lead to higher discipline costs. So the stronger the skill, the more discipline it takes. A skill with a 1 turn cooldown will have a lower discipline cost than a similar skill with no cooldown, for example. Should your reserve discipline exceed your current maximum discipline, you won't be able to transpose. And then it wants us to drag this over to our bar. And you'll see we lost discipline and we added this skill to our bar. And now it wants us to do this on our own. It wants us to make a healing skill to compensate for the damage we're going to take. Forge and equip a healing skill using the synapses Inner 1, Cure 1, and Duo Cycling. Repurposing used synapses is temporarily disabled. So again, we'll go back to Forge. It wants us to use Inner 1. It wants us to use Cure 1. And it wants us to use Duo Cycling. Yeah, that's right. So this one is going to be Alleviating Breath, 2 cost, 3 cooldown, heals us for 120 to 160 HP, and it's going to be on self. So we'll forge this together. Complete target allies, and then we'll close, go to skills, add it to our bar, and you'll see it took more discipline. And then now it wants us to go do today's mission. So we will go ahead and we'll go to our patients. Here are today's patients. None of them is looking to become wantless, just a bunch of routine operations. You'll only have time to transpose 1 patient and others won't come back, so choose wisely. Look at the patient's tier, mind realm request, and rewards to determine who you want to transpose. Today's patients only differ in reward. So everything else is going to be the same except for the reward. So this is really, really important because this is how you're going to build your character. You need to target things that you need for your build, and gear and basically holes in your structure that you're making. So like for instance, Noelle here would give us a localized, which has a discipline weight of 6. It's a tier 2 common, and it has 2 effective slots with a casting range of 3. And then she also has strike, so we can get another strike damage modifier. And then she also has break. decreases hit damage resistance by 10%. And it looks like it's going to be 4 fear damage. I think that's fear damage. For 3 turns, targets enemies. So again, in proper order, if you were to place this, then this, the 10% would hit first, and then you would hit with the damage thereafter. Again, doing the additive 10% damage to the actual skill, and then she gives you the cost and cooldown to create this skill if you wanted to. All right, Finn gives us Shuddering, cast on us as the center, and hits everything around us. So this is if you were going to be like a melee tank. He gives the ability Strike, which I think is different from this Strike. Yes, okay, so this is fear damage, and this is pain damage. And then he also gives Blunt, decreases hit damage dealt by 10% for 3 turns. So this is debuffing the enemy's damage by 10%, and I think this was debuffing the resistance. So they take more damage from this one, they do less damage with this one, and then the 2-to-1. And then on this one, it's diagonal 1. That's interesting. And then this one does grief damage, 40 to 60. And then this, so this is if you're going to do a dot build. This inflicts poison, dealing 28 to 42 grief damage per turn for 3 turns. So this is guaranteed damage for 3 turns if you can land the skill, versus, which also comes with a 1-turn cooldown. The value of this is actually really, really strong as long as they're not resistant to taking the dot damage, because it's guaranteed damage per turn, where these strike damages are once before the cooldown. So you'll get 2 times the value, but you won't get the debuff. So I actually think this is probably more valuable than the other 2. So we're going to do this one for right now. So we will begin transposition Mirabelle Stanton. Okay, so we are going to relieve the patient of 1 lesser spite. The patient requests your objective display here in the current status. And then we are going to move to the door. This is all still tutorial, by the way. We are going to be in tutorial for a minute. Dreams give up battles that should have been fought. They've known no closure, no peace. Defending causes long forgotten. They are a long range damage, and it keeps its distance. So it's intentionally going to move away from, it's going to move away from us. Most patients might ignore your presence if left alone, though there are exceptions. Tread silently to remain concealed. You are currently concealed. Your enemies will ignore your presence and either idle or wander around aimlessly. Conceal limit is 5 action points. To remain concealed, you must spend limited AP each turn drawing too close to an enemy. Attacking or preserving memory also leads to detection. Approach the nearest lesser strife without going over the AP threshold or letting them detect you. Move to the dedicated position. So what this is essentially saying is we are basically in what is called stealth mode right now. So this is the stealth period of the game. The reason this exists, again, because this game is very complicated and the developers thought this through so well, is they allow you to reposition from the starting point however you want to approach the battle. As long as you do not hit the visibility like icons for the enemies, and you don't go over the spend limit, or you don't do any interaction. So you don't do any damage, you don't grab any memories, you don't do anything like that. You can move around this entire map as many times as you want. Let me move around. You can go from this starting point all the way over here into this corner if you wanted to start the fight over there. Again, just don't hit the detection points of each enemy. and don't do anything that would trigger the fight to start, and you can move around the map and kind of position yourself where you want to be when you want to start the fight that way. So here you'll see we moved up to our 5 action points. We didn't exceed it, and we've repositioned ourselves without triggering the fight to start. You'll see though, and this is important, the enemy still got those action points. So just be aware, everything you do, even in stealth before starting the fight, is still giving the enemy action points to spend. Spending any more AP would lead to detection and a lot of unnecessary damage taken. So end our turn. You'll see that they didn't move and they didn't use their action points. So you are now in good position to destroy 1 lesser strifes. Your move. Destroy 1 of the lesser strifes. So we can, the lesser strife has 70 HP. And we can do 2, this one, which will start the fight, which you'll see there. We'll move, and then we will punch. And that kills 1. Most ranged skill casting is limited by an entity's current line of sight, including yours. Tall objects break line of sight, so he can't currently see us. When faced with a ranged enemies, ending your turn outside of their line of sight can help approach safely. Hover an enemy to display their line of sight. Okay, so if we go over here, you can see that we are in the shadow section of the environment, which means he cannot currently see us. The combat is now officially started. We are detected, so we're not in stealth anymore. But as long as we stay in the shadow section to this enemy, we will not take damage this turn. He has to get a line of sight of us, which he's going to have to spend his AP to do. Now, if we wanted to, we could move closer to him. This is probably risky, but let's say we go here. That gives him a lot of action points, but just for the sake of playing this out so you guys can see how this works, my curiosity doesn't really do anything different. Okay, and then center camera, yeah. So if we wanted to do that, yeah. Just reminding myself what all the buttons do. Glossary. We do have a combat log, so if you guys wanted to see the turn, how things happened, what happened, there is a combat log. There is an inventory. You'll see this is our revives that we currently have. We don't have anything else currently. And then this is just the pause menu. So if you wanted to bring up the pause menu, you can do that. We'll go back. And then we will... I don't think we want to do anything else this turn, so we'll just end turn. So you'll see he spent all of his to get line of sight of us, but he kept away from us because, again, his whole stick is he wants to move away. If we move over to him, we can't attack him, but we could dash for 2. We are already in combat with him. We can move for 3. And then we can punch for 2. He's going to have a lot of points, but he will have to move. And we can't get back to a shade, unfortunately. So we probably will take a little bit of damage here. You'll see he's going to go down, and he's going to spend 1 to shoot us. Nope, he actually stockpiled it, so he's dead. So we can just flat out just go straight to him. And we can punch him, and he should be dead. Because he's stockpiled. Okay, so in the next room, what do we want to have? Do we want to have increased hit damage and affliction for 5 turns for 20%? Or do we want to heal up to 35% of our max HP and cleanse temporary negative effects? We didn't take any damage. We don't have any negative effects. So we'll just go with more damage for the next room. And then we will leave. So it's our turn. So again, as long as we do not trigger these guys' vision, we can go probably here. And then end turn. The big thing here is you'll notice we are losing turns on our buff. So we just have to be cognizant of that. Yeah, go here and turn. And then we should be able to start this fight. So we'll do that. We'll go here. We will punch. And then I don't want to give them more than they need. Could dash. I am going to dash. Okay. Because it's going to cost him a lot to move. That's fine. He shouldn't be able to do anything. Yeah, he's stockpiled. That's fine. And now we should be able to kill both. 1, 2. Mind your steps. Tile effects such as carcass apply to entities that step on them. Hover them to see what they do. So if we step on this, we take intoxication stacks, which we definitely do not want to take. And then enemies will gain swell, which makes them stronger. So if he moved over it, that would not be good. If we moved over it, it would also not be good. So we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to kill him. And there you go. Room is complete. Increase our hit damage or heal for 50% of our max and cleanse any effects. We only took 55 damage, so we'll just do this because we do still have our heal spell, and we can use that if we need it. The other thing is you cannot use skills in between these transitions, so I can't sit here and heal up. I have to heal up in combat. So you have to take into account of that when we do this. We are going to intentionally die here. This is part of the tutorial to show you how death works. So just pay attention to how this kind of plays out. This is not an intentional death. Actually, I did not mean to do that. Bring that back up. Okay. Yeah, so we're intentionally going to die here because the tutorial wants us to see how death works. In its faintest form, the lesser spite, hatred is usually associated with specific targets. Even at such low intensities, the repressed wish that something or someone would suffer is easier hidden than cleansed. Extreme charged damage keeps its distance. Okay. So we can... if I remember correctly, I have to be precisely in front of him for this ability to work. I can do that. And then I probably should have been one step closer, actually, which is fine. Spend my 3 move here. Some enemy skills, such as the Wretch's Leap, charge for a number of turns before they are cast. Certain charge skills are targeted on specific entity. Targeted skills cannot be dodged and are unaffected by line of sight. So this thing's going to hit me regardless of what I do. Prevent a targeted skill from hitting its target by interrupting the spellcaster or the caster of the skill with a push or other disable effects. So again, we are 100% going to die. But what we are going to try to do is get as close to him as we can before we die, because it will matter. Don't worry about him. He's just going to keep stockpiling. And then we can't dash, we just have to keep moving forward. This will all make sense in a second. Again, we are intentionally meant to die here. There is no surviving this. Connection between your mind and the patient's is thinning. You okay? Yep, this guy's mind maze feels a little bit unfair. Sore loser, you just need to use your ink to reestablish the connection. When you reach HP reaches 0, you get disconnected. You can use neural ink special consumables to reconnect. On top of the neural ink, reconnecting more than once consumes an increasing amount of awareness. Awareness is a special resource you acquire by destroying enemies. You've exceptionally been granted a lot of awareness. So essentially, the more you revive, the more you're likely going to fail the run. So this brings us back with 25% HP. Reconnecting resets your enemy's action points. Finish them off before they disconnect again. Okay. So first thing first, we're going to heal ourselves up a little bit. And then we want to do 1, 2, I think 1, 2, 3. I won't have enough. I need 2. And I can't dash yet. That's not enough. Okay. We're just going to move up into position. I'll explain this in a second. Okay, that's actually fine. That's also fine. So now we can hit him with that one. We can move 1, and we should be able to punch him to death. And he is done. Okay, you'll see what learning points are now. And then you'll see that we got our poison abilities. So we will proceed. By successfully transposing your patients, you've earned reputation. Increasing your reputation grants multiple perks and is required to travel further. So for the plot and for the story, we need reputation gain. Oh, I didn't mean to skip all. Okay, well, that's fine. We got 4 new items. Morning. What's up? Lots, you've got some new synapses to improve your skills with. I might have gotten the mind tree up and running again, ready to become who you could be. So go to the mind tree. Brings you back, huh? Each corner of the mind tree is associated with different combat style, but feel free to mix them together. Don't worry too much about choosing your path. You can always use few ponder shards to change your mind later on. And then open the neural forge to reforge a skill. It wants us to do that after we kind of look at this. So again, there's kind of like a mini Path of Exile thing going on here where you will build out your character via this tree. I usually, in the demo, I was going for Tenacious here because of what Tenacious does. So I will probably do the same. I think I have a point to spend. I do. So I am going to grab the 20 health. You can confirm to allocate your learning points. Okay. So we will close and confirm. Can be broken using a mastermind. Oh, yeah. Okay. We don't have that yet. All right. And then if we go to the neural forge, synapses aren't lost when used to compose skills. Click an existing skill to swap its synapses or disassemble to reuse its components. So disassembling puts them back in the stockpile. And then transpose patients to earn reputation in Dumpstead. So if we put this here, Just realized my dog is behind me. I have no idea why. But we probably won't use the diagonal. So I want to go get this one back. And I want to disassemble it. So, oh, nope. I'm back. And then I drag skills to disassemble. Okay, and then we go back to forge. And I want aerial. And then I want effect. I want to poison. And I want to strike. And then, oh wait, that was the wrong one. I want to, hold on. I want to poison, and then I want to strike. So now, when we add our efficiency, 2-1 has a high discipline weight, 2-3, 2-0, 2-11. We actually have one of these. Oh, it's in use already. Yeah. Okay. And then we will add one of our 2-1s. So now you will see that this inflicts poison, dealing 28 to 42 damage for 3 turns, per turn for 3 turns, and does fear damage. So we can do grief and fear on a single skill, but you see it uses a very high discipline cost, which is fine. We don't have a lot of skills right now, so we can afford to use it this way. Plus, it is ranged and AoE. So for me, it's a good starting skill. Ranged AoE does a crap ton of damage. So we will forge. And then you can see kind of how it's all laid out. And then we'll close, we'll go to skills, and we will re-equip our skill back to where it was. I do want, I think it was this one, right? 2-0 for the punch. I want to take this one. Oh, is it not? Wait. Disassemble skill. Can I do that? Are you sure to dismantle this skill? Yes. Oh, okay. It's not gonna let me because we're still in the tutorial. Okay, it's fine. This is fine. It is fine. Okay, and we'll go here. And now the game is pretty much giving us the free form ability to do this, but there is still more tutorial because it still needs to teach us about going a different path. So there's a hard path and there's a normal path. If you can believe that this game actually has a harder path that you can take in these mazes, there is a hard path inside of each mind that you can choose that will give better rewards. So this one can give us some equipment. So it is an RPG. You can get equipment. Sharpen increases total hit damage by 10% for 3 turns on ally. Crafted skill has min cooldown of 3. Because it's for the turn cycling. So you don't get infinite buff. Well, you kind of would get infinite buff, but you have to recast it on the 3rd turn. So you get 10%, okay. And then burn 2 AP for 3 turns. So you could spend 8, but they would only get 6. And then they would only get 6 for the resulting turns. Or if you only spend 2 AP thereafter, they would get 0. So you could attack for 2, and then they could not attack you back. That's pretty strong. It's actually kind of interesting. Increases affliction damage. Increases affliction damage by 10% for 3 turns. So, okay, so this is like our poison damage would get increased for the turns that it would trigger. So it would give us an extra 10% damage on our ticks. Affliction inflicts fragilize, dealing 10 to 14 pain damage every time the enemy takes damage for 3 turns. So, it's okay. You would just need to do a lot of attacks, which you'd be basically going all in. And then this one, wall, increases shield by 80 to 110. And then increases hit damage resistance. So this makes us tankier so that we could take more damage. Be like tanking a hit and probably a little bit of resist, so you'd be able to tank like one hit with this. And then pain damage. I kind of like this daze ability, so I am going to do this one. And it's called Toxic Nightmares. These are all called Toxic Nightmares. Okay, so I am going to go for the daze. Yep. Selected skill set, selected mindset, that's fine. Begin transposition. And I believe this is the one that's going to show us how to do hard mode. Yeah, so that's going to show us hard mode. Ready to dive a little deeper. Exploring your patient's subconscious grants you insight, more data, more rewards. It's uncharted territory though. Exploring the mind is pretty dangerous. If you feel like the patient's request is at risk, get back to the way-marked route. I designed the path to be safe and direct as possible. So again, there's going to be two routes. There's going to be hard mode, which is red, and then there's going to be the easier, straightforward route, which is the way-marked route. Exploring the patient's subconscious grants you the best rewards. You can always get back to the way-marked route after exploring. Explore the patient's subconscious. So still have the same detection capabilities, and I will tell you, going the red route is hard. Like, these are not easy fights. Rot. Toxic thoughts hidden rather than dealt with. They're still here silently rotting and growing. Terrain soiling, so they're going to leave a lot of stuff on the ground. Explodes on death, which means that if you kill it next to you, you're going to take damage, and it does poison damage. Okay. Whenever you explore, patient instability is permanently increased by 1. Permanent instability cannot be lowered. So getting a memory does not lower this below the 1 threshold. Remember, having 1 means that everything else here is increased by, I think it was 20%. The patient's subconscious has bred unstable memories. Preserve them quickly as they collapse after a few turns, generating instability. So if we don't collect the memories within this memory over here, if we don't collect it within a certain amount of time, it'll push us towards a failed run. As they collapse after a few turns after generating instability. So again, we can kind of use our initial move to kind of put ourselves in position. And we can't, so this floating block means we can't come over here and reposition to this to be able to push it over here to kill everything. Because it is blocking us out. So we're kind of, again, still in the tutorial thing where we have to move our 4 move here. And then we can end our turn. That's actually really good for us. That's really good for us. That's not good for us. But it's kind of guiding us to what it wants us to do. So we are going to go here. And then we are going to telekinesis this into those 3 enemies. So you'll see we got a triple kill. Some enemies like rots burst on death, dealing damage to the surroundings. Try not to destroy them around memories. So if they were closer to the memory, we would have lost the memory. Okay, we are now in the actual combat round. And these guys just got a ton of ability skill. And I don't want them to blow up this memory, so I'm going to let them come towards me. I'm not going to use any more of my... Actually, I can burn... yeah, let's go ahead and just burn this. And then we'll end turn. Okay. That's all fine. They came over to me. They can't really do anything. So I can actually reposition... I could actually... maybe dash run? Take a little bit of damage here. Deals 4% of max health. And cost me an AP. I could get here. Let me see. I could dash 2. Okay. Move 6. Force them to come over to me. He stockpiles. Oh, we lost it. Shit, I didn't get over here fast enough. I should have went through the thing. Okay. Damn. Okay, I messed that up. Yeah, this is not going well. Okay. I'm just going to... do that. And then end turn. He's going to get an attack. That's fine. And then we'll just kill him. Okay. Gain reach, increasing your interaction range by 3 to 5. Gain regen, recovering 10% of your max HP a turn for 5 turns. Increase your hit damage. I'm going to go with regen, because we're going to get a lot of poison in this area. The deeper you explore, the more insight you'll earn. The deepest I can currently get you, though. I wouldn't explore more today. The patient's request awaits on the waymarked route. Clearing the explore room grants you insight. Hover over the insight gauge for more information. That's this white bar. Boss requests require you to deal with a single powerful enemy. It can be faced immediately upon transposition. The boss is always on the waymarked route. Exploring first will increase the chance of the boss dropping rewards. So coming to the dark room first increases the boss reward drop, but also make the encounter more difficult through instability. So we only have 1 failure for this. So it wants us to go to the boss room. It's not going to let us go deeper into the explore. Lesser regret. At times, the immeasurable mass of abandoned thoughts and lost potentials makes itself manifest. Panic ensues. What else could you have been? What splendors have you missed out on? Permanent toxic stacks, spawns enemies, terrain, soiling poison, and eats its own kind. When it eats its own kind, it heals. Now, this is a little problematic because we need that memory. So I'm probably going to try to get us in position to... Oh, the fight's already started. I need to get to the memory. And he can't see me if I go here. So I will go here. And we will be in his line of sight range. We'll end turn. Okay, that's fine. Your turn. I want to dash. Actually, no. Let me go ahead and actually poison him. Okay. And now he has 4. Let me dash. Okay. Line of sight. I'm actually in his line of sight, so that's fine. So we'll end turn. That's fine. Okay, I should be able to get to this memory and preserve it. Okay, that's really important. These stacks are not good though. Okay, we're gonna go here. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna do a crap ton of his health, and then we are going to oh, it's just telling me that I have the memory. That's fine. And turn. Okay. The obsession pod. Thoughts aren't usually born forsaken or toxic, but some parts of you have developed habits of spitting only the most worthless seeds. It spawns enemies, and it spawns a lot of them. He is now immune to damage, so it is letting the pods here start creating enemies if we don't kill them. So I am... they only need 1 AP, so as long as I don't move, I don't think he does anything. And I don't remember how long he keeps the shield for. Immune for 3 turns. Increases maximum HP by 10. Increases all damage by 25% and all resistances per sec. I forget if I sit here if he's able to do anything. I don't think they can. Will award your enemies a free action point. That's right, that's right. Okay, are you sure you want to proceed? No. So I need to... I need to... get in range of this one. So that I can stop him from doing crazy stuff. Okay. Yep. Okay, good. And then let's move... I guess here. It's fine because they're all only getting 1, so it's fine. Okay, we took a little bit of damage, not a big deal. Let's actually heal for right now. That's fine. Okay, they're gonna spawn enemies next turn. I don't really want to use this because I want to use it on him. But I do need to get in a better position. So let's dash. Can I actually... I guess it's fine. Let's go here. And turn. Okay, so he's going to generate, yep. And he's going to generate, yep. Okay. Now, I should be able to kill any 2 of these that I want. He explodes on death. I think if I do here and here. Yep, okay. He's gonna spawn 1. He can have 5. I want to be in range of this to kill him. Because once he dies, the round ends. I may actually be able to kill this so it doesn't spawn another one. And then I just take a little bit of damage. I take a little bit of damage from this guy. Which is fine. And turn. Okay, he's back. Okay, he spawned another one. Okay. A charge skill will hit all positions marked in red after a set number of turns. Look for safe spots to avoid their devastating attack. Okay. And yep, this is where we're going to take damage. Okay, that's fine. He stockpiled. Okay. Now, this is going to hurt me a little bit. But that's fine. Step up. We should be able to kill him. Yep, there we go. Okay, undesirable neural activity has ceased. Nice job. And we can extract. This was the end of the tutorial. This is probably where I will stop today once we get back to base, because the game starts now. So it's going to be a lot of just going through more challenging mines, more challenging battles, creating skills, creating builds. It gets crazy. Like, this game is insanely cool. Okay, so we get a patient reward, we get 1 still catalyst, and then we get knowledge shards. We leveled up again, so we get another point. We got 1 memory. We missed 1 memory, which sucks, but so be it. We got nutrients, which is a trinket. 13% increased healing, 13% total shielding. Required for advanced fusions. So this is going to be for fusion material and equipment alterations. And then we got a piece of equipment which increases our grief damage, or does grief damage, gives us an ability to use grief damage. And then again, choose 2. I'm going to choose the days. And do I care about total hit damage? Or do I want the glove? We do have this glove. I guess I'll take the hit damage. We are getting grief gloves, so that's fine, I guess. Okay. Godspeed. Day 4. 4 new items. Okay, transpose patients. Open the equipment menu. So we'll go to equipment. Equipment is a special kind of data that lets you alter Iris's stats in transposition. Check on them often. So we have gloves. I think I can just double click. Yep. So with the weighted gloves, we can now do 31 to 40 grief damage, 2 AP cost, range is 1, and then the trinket goes in our trinket slot, which increases our healing and our shielding. You can obviously see all your stats over here: defense, miscellaneous, summons, offense. So you can see we have healing efficiency, shielding efficiency, our total discipline, our total health, hit damage increases, grief, fear, etc., maximum stimulus from afflictions. When we get to having summons, how they're modified, and then friendly fire, interaction, movement, speed, restored AP on kills, starting awareness, etc. All that is here for you to kind of look at. And then again, our revives, 50% HP, 50% with cooldown reduction, and then full HP resets all cooldowns. And then you can see we have different types of, we have a coat, we can have a glove, we can change how we look. If we have a different skin, we can use that skin, which we don't at the current moment. And then additional trinkets that we can have to build out our character. We did get another point in our mind, so we're going to get more HP. Because again, we are working towards this tenacity buff. So we will go ahead and we will confirm. And then you'll see we're now at 620 HP. And then if we go to the Neural Forge, we should have gotten those 2 effects. Now the question is, I think I want to put this days on something with range. I could alter this so it doesn't do the 40 to 60 fear damage, and then I could daze any enemy that survives, and they get less, rather than doing just a flat 60 damage. I think I am going to do that. I think I'm going to disassemble this skill, confirm. I'm going to go to my forge. I'm going to grab my aerial. I'm going to grab my daze. I'm going to grab my poison. And then I'm going to grab my 2-1. And now I burn 2 AP for 3 turns and I damage for 3 turns to everything I hit in that radius. So I am going to do that. Effect order matters. What I was explaining before. Pushing and damaging isn't the same as damaging and pushing. So it really matters how you put the order in place. So I am going to forge this up. And now we have a Narco Wasp missile. So we go back to our skills. We can put that back in our skill set. And then if we go back to the forge, we can make another skill. We do have discipline. So I could do a diagonal skill that does increases total hit damage. Actually, I could put this, increases total hit damage dealt by 10% for 3 turns allies. I could put this on my heal. So let's take our heal. Let's, can I just edit? Disassemble. Edit the synapses. Sharpen. And then forge. Craft. Okay. Close. Now if I go back to my skills, put my heal back on my bar. Now I can heal and buff myself after I heal. It doesn't really affect my affliction damage, but it does affect if I punch something. So that's good. And then I have deal 40 to 60 damage on a strike. And I do have, how much would this cost if I just did a basic strike attack? Ooh, I have, actually, how much would this cost? 281? Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Stacking damage nerf. Slotting multiple hit damage synapses together reduces their individual damage output. Oh, look at that. Okay, so then it would only do, on the top end, 82 damage rather than 120. But that is fine. I will take it. Just gives us more options. So let's go ahead. We will throw that on here. And again, now we are at 96, which is fine. And we can look at our patience for the day when we come back to the game, probably tomorrow. So we can either do Safina Sawyer, who is a tier 1. Okay, so we have a tier 1 Rotting Nightmares, a tier 1 Toxic Nightmares, or a Forsaken Nightmares. Abscess to the Patient is a non-scent confusion. This will give us more poison, so inflicts poison damage 30 to 45 grief per 3 turns. Targets enemies, tier 1 and 2, so it kind of shows the range. 4 with a single cooldown, so higher AP cost, still 1 cooldown, gives it a power bonus of plus 10%, has a 9 weight on it. And then this is another inner, so it's focused on us. Gives us an injector, 6% total affliction resistance. So this is a trinket that would actually reduce our affliction damage, which is good for what we were just dealing with, which is intoxication and poison damage or bleeding or any type of those issues. And then this is 30 to 42 pain damage for the gloves. I'm not really sold on anything there, so we'll keep looking. This gives us a revive. Repel pushes the target away up to 5 tiles, dealing minuscule pure damage. So this is just a push ability. 3 out of 3. 7 weight. 3 cost. 3 cooldown. Gives a plus 5% power bonus. That's not really something I'm jumping up and down for. And then we get another dash ability that we could use. So I'm not really sold on anything there. Strength. So more damage. Another heal. That's actually really good. Because we could do a healing kind of stall build. Fear. Another 2 out of 2, but it's 11 weight. and then a twin. So it does it in front and behind or side to side. I think this is the one I'm going to go for just because getting another cure, I could do, I could sacrifice some of my damage options for having double heal options. And I think that would just be valuable. Instead of, like, for instance, instead of that plus 10% buff, I could heal for like 300 HP, which is a lot of HP to heal for. Kind of resetting a fight if I needed to. So I will probably do him when I return. And then again, we used our mind tree and everything for the day. So we go back to the hub. And that is going to be where I'm going to end here because we got through the tutorial. This again is Wantless. This is a tactical, deep, very thought-provoking build craft, kind of puzzle tactical strategy RPG game. It is $3. I'm going to tell you exactly how much it is. It's $3 and I think $3.95. So $4 for a game that will give you easily probably 40 plus hours of gameplay, and 40 plus hours of challenging, thought-provoking gameplay. I can't recommend this game enough. Even the demo had me sucked in. Just the demo itself had me sucked in. The game itself looks phenomenal. So I'm going to be playing this probably all next week. Just diving deeper into making builds, trying things, seeing how it plays, and going from there, along with some other games. So some other games I will be playing all next week is going to be Monster Hunter 3 or Monster Hunter Stories 3 on my own time. Lens Island I will probably do as some cozy streams if I'm getting tired of having to think through Wantless. Aethermancer came out with a fusion update that I'm going to try. Necromancer for a week is a roguelite, Pokemon light kind of thing, like kind of like Aethermancer, so I'm gonna give that a try. Suda Dorgalia is again another $4, I think it's like $4.19 game that is highly rated for movement. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate went on sale for $4. I picked that up. So again, like this game, Pseudogalia, TMT Splintered Fate, you could get all that for under $15 and you'll have an insane amount of game for under $15. Valor of Man, I got a key for, thanks to the devs and the guys behind that. So I'm going to try that out and do a video for YouTube on that. Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader has I think a bugged pricing structure right now on the spring sale. You can get the Rogue Trader Deluxe Edition for $10. So I snagged that because I've been watching it for years, but now that it was $10, I couldn't help myself. I think for $10 to get the Deluxe Edition, I've heard so many good things about Rogue Trader, and I've never dipped into the 40k universe, so I'm going to be trying that and Mechanus. I think I have Mechanus on my Epic Game Store, so I'll probably try both of those. Resident Evil 1 and 2, the originals, I picked them up on Steam because I just wanted to go back in time and play them. Octopath Traveler 2 has been on my back burner for so long, and I need to play it because I loved the demo when I played the demo. I thought that was great. I want to get back into it. Soma, I want to go through Soma. First Berserker Kazan, I've played a little bit of, but I want to play more of. I think it's called Vidigo, is something I picked up, and Streets of Rogue is something I picked up, but those are probably on the back burner until I get through Wantless and some of these other like bigger games. So I'm going to be working through all of those games over the course of the next couple months because 2026 is kind of light on video games. The only games I have on my Outlook right now is Pokemon Champions in April, Diablo 4's expansion in April, PoE 2 I think in May, and then Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has an expansion coming in July. If Star Wars Zero Company comes out this year, I will pick that up this year, and then Grand Theft Auto 6. Those are the only games on my radar, only games I really care about. And that's kind of why I have a good solid year to kind of try to catch up on video games. So I'm going to be pumping out these videos for the First Time Blind series on my YouTube. and doing a lot of content. Probably going to be diving into Wantless for a long time because I just adore this game. This is my type of game. I love games that are puzzle, strategy, simple but challenging, build craft, thought-provoking, variant build, the ability to make my own skills, to fuse abilities together, fuse skills together to kind of make different play styles. This is like my drug, my dream game of a game. And I wish more people made games like this. Like, I cannot tell you how much I wish more people made games like this. So I will be diving into this game for a long time, but also trying to sneak in all those other games I mentioned because I have limited time on Earth and I have 1,000 games to get through before more come out. So that's where we're going to leave it today. If you watch this video, again, spring sale, $3.95. It's $4. You will probably not play a better game for $4 this year. So that's where I'll leave this one, guys.